What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony, aka the Sender of Chaos and Controversy. And so, when you look at YouTube and YouTube's page and you see posted videos, posted content that they make available for our viewing pleasure, and every now and again, they have something that is posted by a content creator, so to speak, that just jumps right out at you, get your attention immediately. Well, there's this person by the name of Patricia Dickson, and she posted something that I just had to comment on because how should I say this? Okay. She posted something to the effect of saying that in comparison to how everybody idolized and made George Floyd into a martyr, so to speak. I mean, without the, how should I say? I say anti-black rhetoric because, in my personal opinion, when you have, say, law enforcement that does something that's questionable, that violates policy, that ends up being negligent, so to speak, where somebody dies in their custody, or during the apprehension or detaining, okay, and then the go-to thing to go in the obvious playbook is to say, well, this person was a criminal, this person was a thug, trying to justify why the cop did what they did on that day, not referring to what happened or the altercation or the interactions of the past, but what happened currently that day. Okay, and all this stuff came out, whatever, to try to justify why there was a cop, police presence to apprehend or detain George Floyd or whatever the case may be. Okay, again, semantics. To me, I don't deal with, how should I say, cut and dry situations or scenarios. The way I look at it, regardless of who that person is or the content of the character, when you come across a person on that particular day, regardless of what their past is, because 9 times out of 10, who doesn't have a past? Okay? But some people give a pass to say, hey, I applaud you for making your life better, and yeah, whatever. And then other people, they just hold their foot to the fire and condemn them for life. Okay? But, needless to say, in that post, there was a comparison made that I had to 100% agree and give props and say it was very much validated. Okay? I can't pretty much say verbatim, but it pretty much went down calling him a thug, saying that he had a golden casket funeral, whatever. There's protests that resulted in 2 point something billion worth of damage by Antifa, which was a majority made up of white people, not black people, because you have black people who try to tell these people, hey, stop doing all this stuff because it's going to make us look bad. We already get a bad rap for trivial nonsense. We don't need your help or your input giving us a bad name when a bad name was already created through attention purposes. Okay? But that part kind of like gets dismissed conveniently just so people can support a particular narrative on that. Okay? But golden casket funeral, the damages 2 point something billion, and then $27 million award to the family. Then the bottom part was with the U.S. military, or military service personnel or people that died, and what do they get? I've said this many a times over. When it comes to people who put their lives on the line for this country, You know, and despite our opinions on why they go to war, the purposes of war, whatever the case may be, still, these are our people who go in and serve this country. They don't get their due or fair share of acknowledgement, um, how should I say, rewards. I can't really say rewards, but, you know, appreciation, so to speak. You know, only when it's convenient on the political platform. Then they're exploited. But aside from that, if you want to get into the gut of the situation, they have to go through so much stuff with mental illness, PTSD, you know, having to fight to get housing, having to be approved for, you know, whatever disabilities that they come back with from dealing with whatever war that they fought. They went in 100%, come back 75 to 65 to even less than 50%. You know, and it shouldn't be any red tape. It shouldn't be stuff that they have to go through, especially dealing with being homeless and stuff like that. None of that should be something that people who serve this country have to deal or go through. It should be, I mean, if you got so much money that you can invest into the military budget to go fight a war, then you should set aside something in the budget to take care of the vets when they come back and they're done serving, fighting your wars. So in that comparison, yeah, I have to agree. You know, I mean, I'm not taking away from the fact that, you know, there shouldn't have been any kind of compensation for George Floyd, but a statue isn't doing anything to correct certain things as far as policies go. Giving a mural or a street name or things that aren't tangible. Who cares about the trivial BS? Because that doesn't help. You don't put things on the books. You don't put things into law to hold people accountable for things that I would say reckless behavior. Because if our foot is held to the fire as just citizens for every little nook and cranny, for you cross the street the wrong way, fine. You look at an officer the wrong way, intimidation. You say anything in your own defense, no, that's not out for the streets, say that for court. I mean, and then they could cuss you out, they could put hands on you, they could beat you, they could kill you, you know, and people only want to look at people in the overall generalized perspective as saying, well, they're thugs. Well, not everybody that police interact with are thugs or criminals. You know, that's misleading and that's a misconception. I'm not painting George Floyd in any kind of light or anything, but I'm just saying in other situations, in other scenarios, in other isolated incidences, I'm just saying. So when we have to correct the policy, when we have to make some changes and stuff to better police, you know, because I'm just saying. But yes, we don't show or give enough appreciation to people who actually put their lives on the line, fighting for other people's liberties and democracies or whatever the case may be, only to either not make it back home, or if they do make it back home, they're treated less than, and only acknowledged on certain patriotic, I don't know. But that's just how I see things. I know people might want to dismantle this and say, hey, you do got a point. Hey, you know what? You acknowledge this, or whatever the case may be. Let me know what you think. Please share your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down. The dogs are acting reckless because they're playing Nintendo Switch in there and stuff. I have a moment to breathe so I could do this video because I got my son. Going for full custody. Anyway, until next time, until next video, You already know how I do, folks. Peace.